Hello, baseball fans. Hope everybody's doing awesome, staying safe out there. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, please do so. Really appreciate your support. And we got some prizes coming along the way for subscribers as well. So hit that subscribe if you have the time. I'm really counting on you. So, in our last vlog, we talked about the Blue Jays starting lineup. So, I thought today it'd only be prudent to go into the starting rotation. Is there anything we need to be worried about? What's going on there? And what might happen towards trade deadline time? So, before we go into the starters 1 through 5, I thought we'd talk about the rotation as a whole and how it's doing compared to other MLB teams. And if you look at the stats out there, we actually have an ERA right now of 3.97, and we're ranked 19th. Yeah, we're a little bit down there. Now, is this something to worry about? Well, if we compare it against the numbers from last year, we were actually ranked 10th and had an ERA of 3.91. So very close to where we're trending so far this year. So what's caused that decline to make us go from 10th to 19th? Well, a lot of other teams got a whole lot better with their starting rotation as well. So there is room for the Jays to improve. I think that 19th for ERAs is just a little bit misleading, and I think that number is going to trickle down, and you're going to see us get close to being a top 10 as the season progresses. So now that we're done talking about the team as a whole, let's look at our starters, and let's start off with Mr. Jose Berrios, who the Jays went out and signed to that big $131 million contract. And let's see if we're getting our money's worth. Well, if you look at his stats up there right now, you might say no. He's 5-3, but the win and lose right now doesn't mean as much as the ERA. And his ERA is a little bit concerning. He's trending right now at 5.11 when we shot this vlog. And that's considerably up from his average last year where he had an ERA of 3.58. Now, to be fair, Jose got off to a real rough start at the beginning of the season. He's been making adjustments. That number's going to continue to go down. And this is not something to worry about because year after year, Jose Berrios has been consistent. He has an ERA around 3.5. He's somebody you can count on to be a front-end starting pitcher. And that's why the Jays handed out that big contract. $131 million is actually a steal, in my opinion, for front-end pitching. So we're going to get our money's worth there. And I'm willing to bet as the season progresses, you're going to see that ERA go from 5.11 down to below 4. You think I'm wrong? Let me know in the comments below. Moving on, we got Kevin Gausman, who the Jays went out and signed for $115 million, and that's looking like a bigger steal, especially if you compare it against Robbie Ray. And we're not going to get into Robbie Ray right now. We're going to do a vlog coming up in the next few days where we talk about the X-Files with former Blue Jays. But back to Kevin Gausman. He has a win-loss record of 5-6. As I said, that's very misleading. What we really need to look at is ERA, which is at 3.19, a little bit up from last season where he went 2.81, but still very impressive. Exactly what you need as a front-end starter. I know there was a little bit of concern about maybe he was tipping his pitches here and there. He made his adjustments like any good front-end starter will do, and if you saw him pitch his last game, he was looking lights out. He was looking like the Kevin Gausman that we needed and that we signed. Moving on, number 3, Mr. Cy Young candidate already, still a rookie in my eyes, Alek Manoah. And what a season he is having. Unbelievable. His win record, 8-2, and that 8 at the time of I'm filming this vlog is second in all of Major League Baseball. He has an ERA of 2.00. That's ranking him 6th. And that ERA is actually down from 3.22 where he was last season. So Alek Manoah is getting better as he goes along. He's growing, he's learning, and boy is he exciting. He's got some electric stuff. This is a really good thing for the Blue Jays. I'm wondering if the baseball gods gave us Alek Manoah and this talent as a makeup for Nate Pearson. Let me know in the comments below. My only concern about Alek Manoah is that the Jays don't overuse him considering how well he's pitching. I'm quite happy to cap him off at 5 or 6 innings a game. Keep that innings pitched down towards the end of the year. That way he's nice and healthy and ready to fire as we go into the playoffs because we're going to need him. I would hate to see him be misused, his innings creep up so he's not available for the postseason or pitching as effectively, or even a worst case scenario, he gets injured. Knock on wood, I'm not even going to say it. So that's why we got to keep his inning pitches down, and we really need to solidify his outing with a strong bullpen outing, and we'll talk about the bullpen in a future vlog as well. Moving on, we got Mr. Yusei Kikuchi, and I'm probably mispronouncing that to a certain degree, so apologies to him. And the big question is, we signed him for that $36 million deal. What's going on there? His ERA, 4.94, up a bit from last year where he had an ERA of 4.41, but we don't need any pitcher with ERAs at 5 or going up and above that. And that's the worry with him at the moment. Now, to be fair, when we signed him, there's a lot of reminiscence to pitchers that we've signed in the past with similar circumstances, like Robbie Ray. We knew he was wild, but he had great electric stuff. And we were really hoping for Walker to be able, Pete Walker, to be able to harness that, control that, and bring out the best in him. And if you look back, when we first got Robbie Ray, that last half season that we had him, he didn't look very good. There was a lot of comparisons to how he pitched to Kikuchi. Now, he had the time to work with Paul Walker. We re-signed him for that one-year contract, and he went out and won a Cy Young Award. Am I saying Kikuchi's going to win a Cy Young? Probably not. But I think we need to give some time for Walker and him to work together, see how he pitches as he continues on through the season, and look for that improvement. With the Jays, though, being playoff contenders, we don't have a lot of time for improvement. So if there's one pitcher who may be a little bit worried as time goes on that he might get replaced, maybe for a half season, with a trade candidate, it could be him. And why? Well, let's talk about the last pitcher on this list, and that's Ross Stripling. And boy, oh boy, I don't want to say I saved the best for last, but maybe one of the most important pieces for last. And why? Well, let's look at Ross's numbers here. He's got a 3.28 ERA, and that is down considerably from last year at 4.80. This guy is getting it done. He's been a number 5 pitcher who's pitching like a number 4, maybe even a number 3 at times. And this is somebody who didn't even make the starting rotation at the beginning of the season. Somebody had to work his way in. Somebody who had to be stretched out on the fly when Hyun-Jin Ryu got injured. And hey, Ryu's done. Probably never going to suit up for the Jays again. But that shows how quickly Ross Stripling had to adapt and how effective he is. And it's players like that that come off the bench who you don't expect, that come in and save the day. And those are the players that are going to help the Blue Jays get deep into the playoffs if they really need it. Remember, baseball is about a team approach. So that's enough rambling on about the starting rotation. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think somebody's going to get traded? Do you think I'm wrong on my brief analysis here? More importantly, I hope everybody stays safe. Please hit subscribe if you haven't done so, and we're going to talk soon. Take care, guys.